Hi guys, and welcome back to Faster Podcast. Today isn't at all a funny episode. It isn't at all an episode as all the others. Today is a dramatic episode because today has happened a very bad thing, a very sad thing that unluckily for a sport like MotoGP, like Formula One, for all the motorsports, and for all of these sports where you go so fast, sometimes also in difficult conditions, is a thing that you know that it could happen. Unluckily, it could happen. And this was the time of Jason Dupasquier. That unluckily was a Moto3 rider, a Swiss Moto3 rider. It's so hard to say because you know you want to put yourself in these conditions, you want to put someone's family in this condition, that you have to talk, and also the family have to cry, to feel so bad because a rider, a guy, because this guy, this young guy wanted just to achieve his dreams, to follow his dreams, to follow his goals, and to do what he wanted to do with his life and in his life. Because you have to know that every time you do something, from the most dangerous thing like taking your bike and having a truck day, or to the most stupid thing like going out for a walk, you know that you got a bit of probability that it will happen something bad. And sometimes in some sports, in some conditions, this very little probability becomes much bigger. These people knows that they're playing with their life, they're racing with their life, they are putting their lives over two wheels, and under almost nothing who protects them, because the only things that protects them are their racing suit, their helmets, their boots, and a lot of lucky. And when are happening those things, everyone feels so bad, from their family, their team, to everyone who is looking at the TV in that moment, who hears about this. Overall, when you hear the age that this guy had, because Jason Dupasquier was a 19 years old rider for Moto3. He was born on the 7th September of 2001 in Switzerland, and his dad was a motocross rider. And he took from his dad the passions of the bikes. This time, he had the passions of the race bikes, of the street bikes. His dream was to win a championship, a world championship, to become the strongest of all time of the world. And he was giving everything for make that true, for realize his dreams. He had been a lot of difficult moments, like in 2018, where he broke his thigh bone and stopped a year from racing. Then he went back in 2019, racing on Rookies Cup. In 2020, he'd been able to race as rookie in the Moto3 World Championship. And also this year was a bad year because he was struggling so much. He wasn't finding anything which was going good. So in 2021, he decided to move from Switzerland to Spain to change completely his life, his training, his approach with the bikes, with his entire life. And in a few times we saw the results, because on the first 5 races of 2021 he made 5 races out of 5 on points, so finishing them on the top 15 riders of the world. So he was finding, we could say, the right way to his career. It was the first time he was finding out something good, something was starting to go good in his life and in his career, until the 29th of May of 2021, at the 9th and 10th turn of the Mugello circuit, at the Arrabbiata 2, where he lost the control of his bike during the last available lap of the Q2 of the second qualifying of Moto3, and he'd been run over by the riders he had behind. So overall, Ayumi Sasaki, who completely ran over him, and also Jeremy Alcoba, who in an interview later said that ran over his legs while Dupasquier was down. The session has been stopped, and immediately we had a red flag, and the session had been stopped, and medics went fast as possible on the track to try to stabilize his conditions and to bring him to the Careggi hospital in Florence with an helicopter, because his conditions were very, very bad. He suffered a lot of injuries on all over his body, and during the night between the 29th and the 30th of May of 2021, he received a thoracic surgery for vascular injury. He also had head trauma and many more injuries all over his body. So his conditions were very, very bad. But everyone has kept wishing well for him. Every rider, every people in the world has been praying for his condition, wishing it would be just a moment of scary, and then in a few moments it would be everything okay for him. But unluckily it wasn't, because at the end of this morning, at the end of the morning of the 30th of May 2021, of the Sunday, where he should have started the race in 11th position and made his Mugello's race, his 6th race of 2021. Unluckily, Jason Dupasquier passed away. It's a very bad moment, and we know that the security all over every motorsport have made big steps, really incredible steps year by year. But for example, taking bikes is so easy, we could say, to have a crash and also a big crash, have a big crash, and stand up immediately with almost nothing, you know. Maybe you could broke your arm, you could broke one of your bones, but it's so difficult that you will find some very serious injuries to your body. But you know, helmets, racing suits, trucks, anything made big steps for the security of the peoples. But in motorbikes, in there's just one thing that is was and will be impossible to avoid, and it's when a rider crashes, falls down, and the rider behind him collects him, runs over him. This is impossible to avoid. Overall, in small categories like Moto3 or not the first few laps of also MotoGP, Moto2, Superbike, cause everyone is so close to the other. So when it happens, you only have to wish for the lucky, to wish that nobody collects you, nobody runs over you, and that if someone for some reason collects you over your legs, not over your body, your head, and overall your neck, cause is the most fragile part of the riders right now. And there's nothing to do to avoid this type of crash. So I want to thank you for having spent those few minutes with me, and in memory of Jason Dupasquier, I wanna make a minute of silence with you. So thanks guys, and let's make this minute of silence in memory of Jason Dupasquier. Thank you, and rest in peace. Ciao, Jason.